Doing, and everyone can come on in. Jaron Allen, good morning, buddy. Jaron, are you alive today? Tally, are you alive? Chantel 1984 and Christina. The gang is all here. What about our lovely Jen? Is she over in Periscope YouTube land? If you are in Periscope or YouTube, send me a message. There she is. Send me a message. Let me know you're there as I am restreaming. And it's very nice to have you here, Christina. And thank you for writing me yesterday on YouTube. That was very nice. You know, it was you and Lisa wrote me on YouTube, and I was like, oh, how nice that people are now catching the ones they're missing. It's so cool. Tally says the hair is looking a lot better today. Well, Tally, you know, it does take a couple days after a haircut to get it situated. And to go along with that, there is a method to this madness. And I think, I think I look quite studious today. Jaron says he's alive and well. Right on, Jaron. That's good to hear. And hello, Free Candy, and how are you doing today? Jennifer says, quite so studious. Absolutely. Yes, the haircut is settled in. We're getting there. Give it another 2 days, and you're going to see some punk rock magic. Egan in Florida's here. Hello. And where's Charlie? I don't know, but Charlie wrote me yesterday. And Charlie, so you guys know I mentioned Charlie yesterday about rushing me along with my stories. And he wrote me yesterday. He said that he likes my stories. He's just being a pain in the ass. I was like, oh, well, thank you very much. So now that I know when he's pushing me along not to be affected by it, this is all new to me too. I'm trying to do my best here, guys. Jennifer says, putting it on the scope calendar. Punk rock madness extraordinaire. Yes, that's what we're doing. Doing good. Already got my drawing on. Well, good for you, Free Candy. That's right. Charlie wants answers. Yes, he does, Jennifer. It's wonderful to know the little community we've put together for our morning coffee. This sets the tone for the day, doesn't it? And I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Uh-oh, Tally says, I saw your Twitter. Are you moving? Well, at least for 6 months. LA is going to be shut down for a little while, and it doesn't seem like it's moving fast. And I will tell you this, Tally, since you asked, with LA going to be shut down a little while, for at least 6 months, there's this odd moment in my life where the world is frozen, and so is my life on one level, and I don't really have much responsibility except for animal and a cactus. So with that moment in time, I could do what I'm doing right now, really anywhere in the world, as long as it has good internet. So I did post a tweet on my personal Twitter yesterday of which is AOC Johnny, which was asking if you could live anywhere for 6 months, where would you go? And so, with Jennifer writes, I thought maybe a decision had been made. Well, as I met Jennifer, I told you as well. I am considering the situation. At 46 years old, to find myself in this precarious situation where the world is frozen, we have this window before things are moving in full speed again, I would recommend everybody to think about where, if you could live anywhere. Sean is saying move to Denver. Well, then would be up on Rat Coffee 24/7. That's right. Sean Barry over at Rat Coffee, Random Acts of Kindness Coffee, get you some, says Denver. Free Candy says Ireland. Free Candy, have you talked to Nolene, who is always on our lives? I don't know if Nolene is with us today, but she watches us out of Ireland, which is incredibly rad. So with that golden opportunity to live anywhere for 6 months, just to see how things are, well, yes, I've been debating. My lease is up in just a few weeks. So, you know, I am somebody who wants to be able to use their perspective to make the best out of any situation. So that's it. Go to 3 places for 2 months at a time. Well, that's a lot of moving, but that's doable too. I just don't like to move that much. I would want to sit somewhere for 6 months and really soak in the environment. So, however, those of you who might be watching this in Vegas, that's right. I'm looking at you. You might find me there. So write me. Give me the scoops. I've been looking at some nice places there. Trust me, Free Candy. I've been thinking about Austin. You know how much I love Texas and Austin. Estefan, how are you doing? All right. So with that, we'll move forward. And listen, guys, I will keep you posted. I'll let you know where I'm going. Who knows who I might be able to see. Jennifer loves the idea of Austin too. She's on Periscope. Austin is wonderful. It's beautiful. Oh Lord, luck up your daughters, Las Vegas. Tally, come on. I can't believe you just said that. I'm very a debonair gentleman at this age in my life and chasing girls around Vegas. And as someone wise once said, there's a time where you get to an age where you'd rather just have a good cheeseburger. Chasing girls around. So there you go. Estefan, all Gucci, baby. All right, well, good. Good to hear. Yes, hanging free. So, guys, here's what I'm going to talk about today. There is a book by Patrick McGinnis. Now, I don't know if any of you check out his podcast. His podcast is called Fomo Sapiens, and he has a book, and it's called The Fear of Missing Out. And I have to interview him next week. And what's interesting is he talks about 3 different FOMO situations. Number 1, FOMO, fear of missing out. How many of you all heard that saying? It's like the hip saying, all the kids say it. But then he brings up another one, FOBO, which is fear of best offer or fear of better offer, which if you combined FOMO, fear of missing out, with FOBO, fear of a better offer, this locks you into analysis paralysis. And he goes through decision-making processes for young people to better navigate through this life of endless choice. Now, I've brought this up on the show many times. As a Gen Xer, we kind of had certain ideals about the world and what we were going to do and change. I'm not going to speak for all Gen X. I know I've done my best, but we had certain ideals about what we were going to do. But for us, we are one of the last generation of this major shift where we lived half our life without internet, half of our life with internet. And then, Gen Z and the millennials have had abundant choice throughout their lives. And it's impossible for any of us to really understand just how powerful having all this choice can be, where you're trying to navigate a career for yourself. You're trying to navigate a love life for yourself. You're trying to navigate a side hustle for yourself. Think about all three of those. For career wise, endless choices, endless learning opportunities, endless availability of any sort of information that you could want to do that job. This idea, as a young person being told that you can do anything you want, is absolutely true. And you can do all the research and a lot of the studying for whatever it is that you want to do without even going to college. And certain careers, you don't need that level of education when you can self-educate. And I'm a big proponent of that. So that's just your career. Now, think about love life. Think about your relationships, romantic relationships. Just think about the endless amount of choice that you have if you live in a large city. As somebody who lives in a large city, and I had done a lot of research on dating apps for The Art of Charm, for our podcast, and research. And the amount of choice, if you understand how to have those apps work in your favor, is endless. And there's a lot of women that watch this show. You all know the amount of choice that you have on your side. Free Candy says, was always told I could do whatever I want. Should have trusted that more. Time's ticking. Yes, absolutely. I'm with you on that one. So here's the point on the apps. Even as for a guy, if you understand how the apps work and you go through the work of putting together a decent profile for yourself, even as a guy, you will have endless choice. Jennifer says our choices were meh. Well, yes, but you have endless choices. They may be meh, but they are endless. Now, there's this thing, and I mentioned it on the show, called limerence. If you guys don't understand what limerence is, limerence is the idea of falling in love with falling in love, where you get addicted to that gush of chemicals that flood your system when you're falling for somebody. And there has been studies showing that when by being exposed to that and having an infinite amount of choice to be able to live that over and over again, that a lot of young people are following limerence. It's a drug. They're being addicted to it, and they're hopping from one relationship to the next. I can completely understand. When else in history did you have all this choice? So there we go. We have for career, and then we have in your romantic relationships, you have all of this choice. And then think about your side hustle or hobby. Saz says, late to the party. I did not give myself a haircut. It wouldn't look this good. But thank you very much, Saz. Thanks for tuning in. Now, career choices endless, relationship choices endless, and then it becomes a point of your side hustle or hobbies. Well, once again, you're exposed to absolutely everything, and the choice is yours. And if you live in a large city, even your exercise options are endless. When everything was rolling, I had a trainer who was one of Barry's trainers, and when I had him once or twice a week, then I did Barry's for the other days, and then I ran. I did a combination of all the exercises that I've enjoyed so I could break it up, keep it new and different and novel and engaging. And I had that opportunity in living in a large city. Yes, Jennifer knows. And so even that very small thing, and I could have continued. They have what they call Class Pass here in Los Angeles and a lot of big cities, where you just buy a ticket that has a certain number of classes on it, and there's several different exercise places that you can go and take a class. It would be endless. So Jennifer goes, I go to a different restaurant every night of a month. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? So even a side hustle and hobbies or a restaurant or exercise, it is endless amount. So now we're getting to a point. I can't understand what that was like for myself. When I grew up, my choice of hobby was music, playing guitar, and skateboarding. That was it. Why? Because I had access to both of those. I had access to music because my dad played in bands and they rehearsed in the basement. And so all the instruments were there. And the other one was skateboarding. Why? Because it was the cheaper hobby. I could mow lawns and wash cars and be able to get enough money to get whatever I needed for skateboarding. I didn't need anything else. And once I had the skateboard, I could go into town and with a couple dollars, skate in town all day, get myself something to eat for lunch, usually consisted of a pile of sugar, and would skate until dinner time. Now, those were the things that I had. I had options. I had the money to be able to purchase those, and I had access to those very things. Think about the amount of access that children have now. And then not only that, you're opening up worlds that are online with the gaming and the communities that are there. So come back to FOMO and Fobo. Fear of missing out. What are the other kids doing? So you're going to have mass peer pressure to I guess help you make these choices. That's an inspiring pressure. You have all these influencers telling you what you should be doing. And then the other one of pressure is just not being able to make up your mind. Now, with Fobo, so in making any of these decisions, if you're going to be tied to better options, well, then how else are you going to figure out what you want to put your time into? And here's the thing, and this is difficult for children to understand. You could be a jack of all trades and master of none. So as you're growing up, you never find your groove. For myself, all I had was skateboarding and guitar. So I excelled in two hobbies that I loved. Ray Candy says, we only listen to you, Johnny. Tell us what to do. Oh, yeah, I'm an influencer now. I love it. Free Candy, you kill me. So I was able to excel at those two things because that's all I did. And I would imagine that children will sooner or later settle into a certain groove. But as you can see, as I laid out the argument, you can understand why that would be incredibly difficult for any young kids. And I have to deal with it on the other end. I work with young adults. I hear it all the time. They have FOMO. They have FOBO, fear of of a better option. So here's what I want to get to in all this. In the book, he lists one more FOMO, which I've mentioned on the show, and I didn't know it was his, but it's called Jomo, Jomo, the joy of missing out. Once you have decided what it is that you want to do, it is important to put blinders on so that you can make the choices to excel in the areas that you enjoy and not be distracted by anything else. What we're finding and what we're seeing right now is that focus is going to be the new superpower that all of us are going to need to be able to build for ourselves. If you don't have focus, you're not going to be able to make any mileage in your life. You're not going to be able to create and stick your wheels in and move. Focus is going to need to be cultivated. You're going to need to develop it. And I think, of course, this is why we're having such a splash with mindfulness and meditation, and why it is becoming so popular, because every one of us are learning that we're becoming more and more distracted, and focus is becoming the new superpower. And if we are able to cultivate focus, then we can celebrate Jomo. Jomo is the new thing, Jennifer. That is what we all strive for. We strive for the joy of missing out. Because why is there joy in missing out? The joy in missing out is to celebrate what you've already chosen. The joy of missing out is a celebration that you know who you are, and that you know where you're going, and that you cannot be distracted. That, my friends, is why Jomo is so important. Jomo is nothing but celebration. And we're going to get to a point where the young folk are going to celebrate understanding who they are and their path in life. Because when you're able to celebrate Jomo, you can laugh at everyone else who are trend hoppers, who cannot find any, I would say, solace in life because they have no direction. Having direction allows you to feel good. And when you have direction and you're able to see your progress, then that is cause for celebration. So our friend over here in Periscope land, Jennifer, she is a fitness expert and helps people get together. And she knows the joy. And Lisa here is in fitness as well. When you see the joy of somebody committing to something, putting in hard work, and then getting on a scale or putting on an item of clothes that they've worked so incredibly hard at being able to do, the look on their face, the celebration that they have been able to overcome FOMO and Fobo and distraction, and be able to put their efforts into one thing and achieve that goal, that opens the doors to other goals being set in life. This opens the doors for you to celebrate yourself. And this is why Jomo and the reaching of Jomo is so important. And I'm excited to interview Patrick. And if you want to check out his book, it's Fear of Missing Out. He is the host of Fomo Sapiens podcast, and he'll be on the show soon. But that's what it's all about. We are going to make it a celebration of Jomo. All right. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to ask. I'm going to go through the comments, and thank you guys. You guys are so awesome. And if you want more tactics on how to reach Jomo, check out the Art of Charm Communication Accelerator. It is in the link tree in our Twitter bio and in our Instagram. It has all the best bits from our online classes, live training programs, and expert guests over the last 14 years. Lisa Atkins says she has no more choices because she's got a ring. Yay. Yay for Lisa. And was always told I could do anything that I wanted. Yes, absolutely. Your free candy says you're too cool for Texas, man, but we would benefit. Well, thank you very much. I certainly love Texas. You know that. I can't believe, Tally, you said lock up your daughters. Come on. I've already done that research for dating apps. Kids are helicoptered too much. Yes, they are. And not only are they helicoptered too much, they are encouraged to go in too many directions. It is going to be up to us as parents to help guide our children and to support them in areas that they want to do well in, that they want to explore and kind of keep them on track. I remember when I was young and I wanted to play all the instruments, and I eventually gravitated towards guitar. But one of my dad's friends, I remember him telling my dad, make sure that he doesn't spread himself too thin on all the instruments. And my dad says, I think he's going to be a guitar player. He seems to be gravitating towards that. I know musicians who are great at all instruments, and it's unbelievable to me. There are too many workout options on YouTube. Do you always follow the same workout every day? Well, I change it up, Saz, because before lockdown, as I mentioned, I had a trainer. I also went to Barry's. So I'm pretty versed, and I've been doing that as a self-development junkie for a long time. However, I am trying to change it up a bit because all I have right now is a set of 2 kettlebells, and I've been trying to incorporate that with body weight exercises. And as long as I'm continually sore every day from working out, I know that I'm hitting new areas. So that's where I'm at. But I would say this, Saz. Yes, there are as infinite workouts on YouTube as there is. Just pick one and do it. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll throw a dart at a map, and wherever it lands, that's where I'll live for 6 months. Lisa Atkins says, ironic timing. I'm actually in the middle of communicating with a potential client who wants to join my health challenge next month. I hear the FOMO, but also the Fobo. Yeah, it's just going to be the regular. We're going to have to learn skills in decision making. And there is a laid out path for decision making. And the idea that sometimes there's not going to be a clearly defined lit right answer. How do you navigate through not having a clearly defined right answer? Was understanding that sometimes there is no right or wrong decisions, only decisions you make right. And so that is when you choose and you make whatever you decide the right thing. You put your efforts into creating that as the right answer. Joel Mackley, focus is like a muscle. So true. It is a superpower, and we're distracted by a million things. It is a superpower, one that you can cultivate and one you should cultivate. Lisa says, Jomo. Yes, Jomo is what we strive for. It is the celebration. Nice. Thank you for the compliment there. Oh, boom. When I'm moving in a direction of my guiding principles, it doesn't matter what I'm missing out on. That's right, Lisa. That's when you can celebrate Jomo. How do you stay motivated when you work from home? I will answer that tomorrow. Can you send me that on a message, on a DM me that one? My friend says how to stay motivated when you're working home. You miss interacting with colleagues and friends. stuck in the four worlds. I don't have time to answer that one right now. The Sesame character is back. I don't know what that means. Oh, Charlie is here. Charlie, how you doing, buddy? You're a little late to the game today, but that's okay. We had a good one. All right, guys. If you want more, check out the Art of Charm Communication Accelerator. It is in the link tree in the Twitter bio and Instagram. It has all of our best bits from our online training programs and live, and all of our expert guests over the last 14 years. You guys are awesome. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Saz, just pick one instead of adding to my playlist and never doing them. Yes, exactly. All right, guys. You all take care. Thank you, guys.